are this discussion, right, in startup and entrepreneurship venture management. So now today we'll discuss about entrepreneurial opportunity identification. Okay, so yesterday in last session I did mention about sharing of some cases, but then later I realized that half of the part of that previous session is there still. So afterwards I'll share. Okay, so entrepreneurial opportunity identification. So for this purpose, actually, there are set frameworks are there. There are set kind of, methods are there through which one can basically identify a opportunity, and then one can validate that particular idea or maybe opportunity before to venture or to actually work on that particular idea. Okay, so those framework, those methods are there, but I will take you through a kind of uh, uh, some sector ka understanding. So you just take it as in the form of story. Okay, so don't worry about assessment part of it. Yeah, because that, if you talked about any idea, which comes to your mind, it's depend on your understanding of your particular sector, subsector, all those stuff which we so far discussed, right? So was, okay, let's take you through some kind of overview about some any one of this sector. So take it as a story, and then we'll come to the conclusion part, what exactly and where exactly we need to focus and how we need to think through. Okay, so that at the end we'll conclude like that, right? So don't worry about assessment part. Again, I'm saying so, right? So I know you have from diverse background. So just take it as a story, brief, in terms of you'll just get and how it is and how it is going. So what about business? What is your, see in your it must be going through the 4 P's of marketing, and then subsequent maybe 7 P's of it. So P's of marketing also there, right? So it's that discussion varies institute to institute. Maybe in the basics of marketing itself you would be learning that. So when we talked about 7 P's of marketing, it's a people is one of the P, right? So that nothing but the customer. So the clear-cut understanding of the target clientele group is the important aspect, and then same is applies to this agriculture sector. So definitely when it comes to the agriculture, it is right. So the farmers understanding overall their challenge is the important, right? So venturing into in India, basically 85 of small and marginal farming means it is a standard classification. You can see of land class. So it's 5 acres land. So 5% so 85%, but cumulatively their total area 7 is a for having 43% of area under operation, and then which is 0.7 in numbers and having 10 acres, 10 percentage. So, and every year what is happening basically, every year because of land dividation, जैसे population बढ़ता जा रहा है, land size कम होते जा रहा है, right? So every year 15 to 20 lakhs farmers जो है, right? They are coming under these small and marginal farmer category because of land dividation, right? So by default, when we talked about business, so definitely when the key aspect is scale. So by default, if my land size is, minimal, so whatever agro produce, I'm getting, season by season. So generally in agriculture, we have, Kharif, Rabi, summer season, right? Varies to state, right? Region to region, but more or less zone accordingly. The cropping pattern means which crops to grow, crop climatic conditions, right? These are their three options, Arabica different options. So like that, this scenario is there. But from the business point of view, right? So whatever agro produce they are growing, coming out of after the Kharif and Rabi season, so it is minimal, right? Because of small piece of land. So, but business principle, what it says, you need to have that vulnerability of farmer is limited scale of operation. Plus, there are other issues in terms of their level of education, in terms of their resources which they are having, right? And then their access to different resources, right? Which is also very important. And plus, most important part in the present century, that is the marketing part of it, right? So how far they are having access to market also. And then last 74 years, since independence I'm talking, so last 73 74 years, it is more of on the middleman, those who are there at the village level, maybe at the block level, district headquarter level, state level. So all those players are kind of, exploiting these farmers. So a lot of, malpractices are also there in these marketing stuff. And then in India, basically, the marketing system is, a kind of unorganized and centralized at the same time through a Krishi Utpanna Bazar Samiti, nothing but agricultural produce marketing committees. So every district has a centralized kind of agricultural marketing committees, right? In Marathi, we say a Krishi Utpanna Bazar Samiti, okay, which comes under the State Agriculture Marketing Board, okay, and it is kind of mandatory. It was kind of mandatory that it is mandatory to farmers to go to or sell their agro produce in or through these agro produce marketing committees only. But now, because of COVID, now actual liberalization of agriculture marketing ecosystem also happened. So what is that will come in due course of time. So a lot of issues in terms of marketing. And then agriculture, it's all about, as I told you, the agroclimatic zone ke hisab se cropping pattern, all those things are there. So a lot of climatic vagaries of the climate hampers the agriculture production. Nowadays also you can see in most of the parts of India, it is flood-like situation. Here, if we talked about in Maharashtra also since last 2-3 days, it is, heavily, raining in different parts of the Maharashtra as well. So like that, if I could, go back and then 2017-18, in particularly in Maharashtra and other parts of country, drought-like situation we face. 1920 again flood-like situation. In 21 also nowadays it's a flood-like situation in the western part of Maharashtra. So a lot of issues. So meaning thereby, so agriculture is kind of nature dependent, right? So despite this constraint, the farmers and then with cumulative support from government, private, and then whosoever the key stakeholder who matters or who works for the development of the farmers, because of which we could achieve that kind of a success in terms of the increase in the production. So 1951 say Abhika, if you could see the scenario, so we have increased, significant times the production of these different commodities, whether it is food grain, pulses, horticulture, like that, right? So which in agriculture, we have designated it as a green revolution, white revolution, blue revolution. So commodity specific kind of revolutions we have mentioned. As far as food grain production increase, designated as a green revolution. Milk में जो kind of massive increase in production हुआ, उसको white revolution नाम दिया. Ocean and then fish production का जो revolution हुआ in terms of production बढ़ा, उसको blue revolution दिया. Fine. So let's not get into the the volume of increase in production. But let's look at now global and national scenario. The target was to achieve food security. जब भारत स्वतंत्र हुआ उसके पहले ही we faced Second World War, then India, Pakistan, refugee problem, Bangladesh, all those stuff. So जो 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s का जो दौर था, जो period था, it was more of on food scarcity का scenario था, right? We were importing stage. India, we were importing from the other countries. So that's how it was pile on, and then we faced a financial crisis, and then political instability is there, right? And it is got accumulated in 91 May. During that period of time, the then central government PV Narasimha Rao ji and the finance minister during that period of time, the Manmohan Singh. So they basically decided to open up Indian economy. That's how we call it as a LPG era, nothing but liberalization, privatization, globalization. I think by this time you must have heard this terminology. So it has kind of disrupted entire the marketing ecosystem, okay, entire the Indian economy as such. So nowadays you must be following different prices of different commodities, different sector wise, whatever happened in maybe in China, US, in different countries, it has oil palm prices, oil seed prices. So if something happens in globalized market, it has some kind of a implication, positive, negative, in India as well. So that's what the effect is all about. So positive, negative, both are there. And at the same time, from the farmers' point of view, the so-called agricultural fraternity, agricultural universities, so they have oriented farming community to grow more, so that we can have our own kind of stuff ready with us, so that we should not be dependent on other countries for importing. So the target was to achieve food security, and that's how by 1980 we became self-sufficient. जितना हमारा population था उसका जितना agro produce चाहिए उतना we were sufficient to grow that much quantity of volume of different commodities. And then that's how since then we are maintaining that kind of a status quo. So the food security remain kind of a global nation agenda to maintain that food security vis-a-vis with population growth. But within now food security, we are giving more focus on utilization part of it. Okay, so how we can maintain a balanced diet so that we the people we can remain healthy, safe, all those stuff. So the concept is nutritional security. So the government is now giving more emphasis on achieving nutritional security, how we can maintain balanced diet, how we can eat nutritive products. So that's how within the agriculture, the pulses, cereals crop, they have a lot of nutritious value. So government is now promoting all those millet crop, right? So let's not get into those technical aspect of it, but yes, right, nutritional security. So this is the kind of a brighter side of Indian economy, Indian agriculture. Let's look at now second slide. You see the key aspect, which is the very much interested area for the startup, that is the darker side of Indian agriculture. So what is that? So if you see the different commodities, left hand side commodity, right, table. So it is just we don't have that kind of a forward linkage, that is farm gets a consumer tak jo supply chain, right? A lot of people are there starting from village level pe village aditya, middleman, local middle, down the line up to licensed trader in the APMC mandis, right? Maybe a licensed exporter, whatnot. So a number of people are there. So farmers say farm gate से consumer तक का जो whatever the supply chain we have, so it is not systematic, because of which in transportation, handling, in terms of broadly in logistics, this much loss is occurring. How much? 92,000 crore rupees. So there is one Indian Council of Agriculture Research. It's a national a body which looks after entire agricultural ecosystem in India. So there is one institute of that ICR, that is Central Institute of Post Harvest Engineering, Ludhiana. So they have worked out these, figures, and then I feel that this is a hard-earned money of, indirectly of farmers only, right? It is just we don't have that kind of ecosystem because of which this much loss is occurring, and because of which basically a lot of startup guys, 350 plus startups we are having in India as of now. Okay, out of which a 60% are into a supply chain itself, right? Supply chain, this is nothing but in this domain only. They are just there to just, procure from a number of farmers or maybe from farmer collectives. They have their own ecosystem in terms of collection center, grading, sorting, packaging, and then they have their own database in terms of, managing, demand and supply, and then they are typing with B2B retail houses or B2C directly with the consumer, right? So some are examples are there in the last part of this presentation, right? Now let's look at the other part of it. You see milk cup percentage loss. Why it is less? Because as I think in our previous lecture also, in passing reference, I talked about the Amul, right? So the Amul, it is cooperative model, right? It is people, those who are, facing problem, they came together. I think in last part yesterday we discussed, day before, came together, form a society, and then that's how it's a member-driven, member-controlled organization, and then has a three-tier structure. So what it tells that if we have some kind of a systematic approach to develop a commodity-specific value chain, whether it is in the form of this collective social enterprise kind of stuff, or whether it is kind of a privately formed a startup stuff. In Ninja Card, they had some examples are there, right? And then case study will also discuss, right? So it's a model only a difference, different, but they have developed that kind of a value chain approach, having their own ecosystem and then minimizing this loss. And that is where basically exactly most of the startups guys they are doing in different areas in different commodities, right? So there is a huge potential in within this supply chains domain. Now just one slide itself, I would like to give you now that how agriculture has been changed over the period of time in last 74 years, right? So there are different phases, so I will not go in technical aspect of it. So just to in a story form, so in 19th century, as I told you initially, it was more of on subsistence, yeah. So jitna mein mera small piece of land hai by just meri family, and then earlier it was a barter system, right? So is there, through that it will be sorted out further in detail. So barter system tha, jo main grow kar raha hu, jo main nahi grow kar raha hu, so I am having the exchange, right? So like that stuff was there during that period of time. Then slowly, as I told you, when we got independence, so to achieve that kind of a food security, the intensive farming concept came, where we ask farmer to use more and more high yielding varieties, seed, fertilizer, insecticide, pesticide, whatnot. Use more and more irrigation, and then you produce more so that we can minimize, overcome that kind of a problem of food security, right? We will be less dependent on the import, right? So during that period of time, orientation was product orientation. You produce more, right? And then, as I told you, though, that economic reforms 91 mein jo hua, that led to some kind of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, right? Because of which, it is kind of challenge for existing domestic business houses, corporate players, because a lot of MNCs also came, since then, right? So a lot of challenges, and then it brought some kind of opportunities as well, right? So if anything happens, every coin has two sides, like that. Same thing even in COVID also, like I'll come that part as well. And since then the output orientation started, because by that time we became self-sufficient, right? As I told you. So it is nowhere dearth of death because of mass starvation, because of not getting food, all those stuff, right? So then the output orientation started from the farmer's point of view. These left three blocks is from the farmer's point of view. Okay, but in India, agriculture is state subject. I'm sure you must be aware about the ecosystem on which the government of India, state government, they work. So we have a state list, we have a central list, we have a concurrent list. It's part of Indian constitution. So as per whatever the subject is allocated in those three different lists, accordingly they work. Okay. So the agriculture, this cooperation, this comes under the state, and what happened in the case of agriculture, since Indian economy got liberalized, but in agriculture marketing, agriculture could not, liberalize to that extent. State to state varies, but yes, at least product output orientation started. But what has happened because of this, a lot of market forces, consumers, they become over the period of time kingpin, right? So as per the market forces, and market force is nothing but what? It is demand and supply, right? So demand and supply, all those nitty-gritty, I think in your other management subject, you must be understanding all those stuff. So the farmers started responding to that kind of a change, right? Plus consumer का जो consumption pattern है वो भी change हो रहा था. What is that? Will also come little later. So they have started responding to market forces. That's how commercial farming ka concept started, and then thereby high value farming concept started. Nothing but the fruits and vegetable farming, then your milk and milk products, non-vegetarian products, nothing but जो allied sector है, like the animal, dairy, fishery, poultry, those sectors started growing. And then now what happened? Now in the present era, in the present decade, this government basically they have identified that kind of a potential in this allied sector, and then they have now a separate ministry altogether, right? Earlier it was a part of agricultural ministry, Ministry of Agriculture. Abhi kya hai? There is a separate Ministry of Animal Husbandry and Fisheries. पहले ये एक डिपार्टमेंट हुआ करता था मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर के अंदर, राइट? बिकॉज देयर इज अ पोटेंशियल एंड इट इज सनराइज सेक्टर वी से. ओके, नाउ लेट्स कम बैक टू द हाई वैल्यू के बाद अभी 21st सेंचुरी में क्या है? वी आर नाउ इन द थर्ड डिकेड ऑफ 21st सेंचुरी, दैट इज द हाई टेक फार्मिंग, राइट? So high-tech farming, everything is now, technology driven, and that's how we are also interacting through this platform, right? So अभी farmers point of view से क्या हुआ, और इस कोविड के चलते भी फर्दर कि बायोसेफ्टी, hygienic, convenience of your customer, all those concepts, added within this output orientation. And then already, as I told you, we are self-sufficient. तो अभी क्या हो रहा है? फोकस अभी वैल्यू एडिशन पे हो रहा है कि कितना ज्यादा हम जो भी एग्रो स्टफ है उसका वैल्यू एडिशन कर सके. एज ऑफ नाउ the funniest part of it, because as I told you, you can see the timeline, right? So the focus was more upon production side. The funniest part, that is, we have never focused by 1990s and then even 2000 basically the value addition pay. You will astonish, cumulatively, across all commodities of agriculture and allied sector, India, in terms of percentage, only 8% value addition India is having in terms of all those agriculture and allied sector. अगर commodity specific की बात करेंगे तो further बहुत skewed scenario है. Fruits and vegetable में only 2% है, only 2% of out of total production. Milk में थोड़ा सा ये cooperative private players है, and then it is highly perishable, so 30% के आसपास है, right? So the cumulative of only 8%. vis-a-vis अगर developed countries की बात करेंगे तो it is more than 80%, right? So we are much lagging behind. So that is where now focus is more on the value addition, the output, the export, all those stuff. So इसलिए farmers now they are now trying to venturing into now marketing as well. And best thing what has happened, COVID-19, that has make them realize, because ये जो आदत लग गई थी ना 1940s to 80s कि भाई हमारा काम क्या है farmers का, सिर्फ produce more. Marketing is just only a marketing board का काम है, right? Because that's how we were oriented to our farmers. And then now COVID-19 ने क्या किया, existing मैंने जो बताया ना आपको, जो centralized marketing system था revolves around APMCs, वो क्या हुआ, disrupt हुआ ना, miserably disrupted because of nationwide statewide lockdown, right? So lot of
decentralized marketing started, government of India ने भी allow किया, state government ने भी allow किया, right? And then what has happened, farmers realized that alright, when we are basically doing marketing by our own, we are getting much profit. That means the price realization is more, or the a producer share in the consumer rupees paid is more than whatever the existing supply chain they were having, right? So that's kind of a change has happened, right? So that's how basically the change in this agricultural ecosystem. So, and this is what nothing but the agribusiness. Agri-science, what it tells, agriculture, what it tells, it is just only you produce more. So there are 73 agriculture universities are there. And as I told you, ICR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, so around 100 plus agriculture research institutions are there. So almost all, for all major agricultural commodities, we have institutions, right? We have institutions. Okay, so let's not get into the example part of it. So those agriculture universities, research institutions, they are doing agri science का research, so that जो भी अभी ये climate change हो रहा है, global warming हो रहा है, you know, productivity front पे we are also much lagging behind, though we are number 1, number 2 in most of the agricultural commodities, right? Most of the agricultural allied sector commodity. But on productivity front, माने per acre जो production है, right? उसमें we are much lagging behind than our developed countries, right, than our counterparts. तो उस पे उनका ज्यादा फोकस है कि कैसे शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन वैरायटीज, कैसे क्लाइमेट रिजिलिएंट एग्रीकल्चर प्रमोट करे, all those stuff they are doing that kind of a research. But as I told you, food security achieved है, तो अभी फोकस किस पे है, कैसे we can streamline the forward linkage, कैसे we can streamline the marketing part of it. Nothing but agribusiness. So a cumulative of all the operations, starting from whatever the input which are required for these farmers, and then down the line the forward linkage side, that is the marketing part of it, processing part of it, distribution part of it, right? Nothing but your wholesaler, retailer, manufacturer, and then ultimately consumer. So it all comprises of agribusiness. Okay, so, and that's how I'm saying there is a complete paradigm shift in Indian agriculture. So as of now, in the present decade, present century, agriculture is in the transformation phase. It is now moving from agri-science to agribusiness, right? That's how. So what are those drivers? What are those drivers which are leading to that kind of a change? And here where basically, you will get a lot of insights about a business opportunities. So मैंने क्या बताया, facts figure, land size decrease होता जा रहा है, and it is, we need to live with these small pocket size farmers, right? And then within that small piece of land, कैसे, how we can improve the productivity, which is major concern. So the agro input industry जो है, lot of Syngenta, Bayer, insecticide, pesticide, fertilizer companies, Sumitomo, it's the best, So all those input provider companies called under the umbrella of agro input sector of this agribusiness industry, they are ever growing industry, they are doing this kind of a research only, how we can improve the productivity. And second is because of which this land size come ho raha hai, right? So what could be the alternative for farmers point of view, right? So it's not about only the actors, those who are involved in this marketing stuff, how we can give a justice to our Indian farmers so that they should get some kind of a remunerative prices for their agro produce, right? So uske liye ek mechanism hai to need for change in scale to reorganize production and marketing. So in next slide we'll come to that part. Urbanization, increasing commercialization, जो मैंने कहा ना कि जो economic reforms हुआ तो फिर accordingly market forces and then consumer के demand के हिसाब से farmers started responding and then accordingly they are growing, right? Plus within that I forgot to tell you that though food security we achieved, by using high fertilizer and all those stuff, which we say chemical input intensive farming. So after now 2-3 decades after that kind of a phase, 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, now we are facing a problem in terms of soil health deterioration, because we are dumping everything in the soil, right? And then we are producing more, and then somewhere the other way that residue is coming through that food grain, right, allied sector commodities, and then we are consuming that. So a lot of cancer patient, right? So a lot of problems nowadays you can see in whatever the problems were there in 80s, 19 in our parent generation and then grandparent generation. Now that kind of a problems we are looking at in 20s, 30s, 40s के age group में वो problems है. So it's all about changing food consumption pattern, all those stuff. So point is, we are facing a kind of consequences of that kind of era, and which is now being called as organic farming. एक concept आया है कि कैसे हम organic practices use करके agro production करें ताकि we can maintain our balanced diet, and that's how the nutritional aspect of it, right? तो ये भी एक kind of एक potential है which is tells that कि consumer is demanding a very healthy products, organic products, traceable products. So accordingly, farmers are now shifting their kind of package of practices. They are using now more organic fertilizer rather than the chemical fertilizers. So the urbanization part of it, now coming back to earlier, what was happening, the production point to consumption point was minimal. So what is that? So rural areas जहाँ production होता है, that is production point. Consumption point, were nearer. But second 5-year plan, 1955 onwards, India has this 5-year plan system, right? You must be aware it. But ये जो planning commission वो करता था, but now this government demolished that kind of a historic commission, and then they have come up with Niti Aayog, right? National Institution for Transforming India, right? And then they have their own now stuff. Right, so up to 12th 5-year plan it was there. So second 5-year plan में government ने focus किया industrialization पे focus किया. First year 5 plan में of course agriculture was the most sector during that period of time, but slowly industrialization पे focus किया. जो हमारा जो national accounting system है, it works on 3 sectors: agriculture allied sector, second is your manufacturing, third is service sector, based on the gross domestic product, all those economic calculation they do, and then that's how gross national income they calculate. Okay, so ये industrial manufacturing service sector भी धीरे धीरे grow हो रहा था, because of which ये cities urbanization could happen, and then rural people started migrating to those different cities, industrial hubs, industrial cluster, and because of which ये जो gap है production to consumption wide होते चला गया, and because of a lot of people came in between this supply chain, right? So that is also telling that there is a huge potential in this supply chain, and because of which, as I told you, the losses which are occurring, right? ये जो fourth है, ये economic liberalization जो मैंने बताया 91 का, but similarly जो कोविड के चलते ये 3 एक्ट में भी आई थिंक आई डोंट नो आपने सुना होगा नहीं होगा, lot of agitations were there during this last 6-7 months before, right? तो ये 3 एक्ट पास किया, तो it is same like liberalization only, but as I told you agriculture ये state subject था, तो ये 3 एक्ट पास किए. तो वो जो 3 एक्ट है that has actually liberalized Indian agriculture marketing system, जिस पर state का जो थोड़ा सा ये था से था, but now it is liberalized. So now it is globally it became a one market now, right? So what are those 3 acts? Next slide में आ जाएगा वो. Changing food consumption pattern is also consumption. If you look at your own consumption pattern, your own or maybe your parents, you will find the difference, right? So I'll come little later on that part. Development of rural economy is also there, and then IT revolution. Okay, so these are the 7 drivers. These are kind of causing to change in the agricultural ecosystem, leading towards agribusiness, and these are the only 7 players, 7 drivers, which will in future also will lead to growth and development of agribusiness sector. Okay, Now some of the indicators, some of the drivers का थोड़ा सा एक slide I have tried to give you some overview quickly. So जो मैंने सोशल एंटरप्राइज की बात किया था ना, so these first three are social enterprise, जहाँ पे community they are coming together and then they are having their own organization and then they are solving their own problem related to agriculture, back end and front end के problem, whether it is cooperative for SHG empowerment, women empowerment में we have these self-help groups, and then nowadays ये एक some hybrid model आया है, that is farmers producer company. Okay, तो एक्ट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू पे जो लीगल एंटिटीज है ना, वहां पे मैं थोड़ा सा क्लैरिफाई कर लूंगा बाद में. तो दिस इज आल्सो कॉर्पोरेट बॉडी. एंड देन ये स्टार्टअप 2010 ऑनवर्ड्स गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया काफी कुछ ये स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम प्रमोट कर रहा है, फॉर विच वी हैव नाउ अ सेपरेट मिनिस्ट्री आल्सो, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्किल डेवलपमेंट एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, राइट. सो जस्ट थ्योरी पार्ट ऑफ इट. सो ये भी मैं आई थिंक एक्ट के टाइम पे ही आई विल क्लैरिफाई दिस थिंग्स, right? Okay, so the economic reforms and then liberalization of agriculture marketing system. तो ये मैंने क्या बताया आपको कि ये सेंट्रलाइज्ड मार्केटिंग सिस्टम था, एपीएमसीज. ये जो सेकंड एक्ट है, इट इज फॉर एपीएमसी मंडीज, व्हिच सेज दैट अर्लियर इट वाज, एज आई टोल्ड यू, मैंडेटरी फार्मर्स को एपीएमसी मंडीज के थ्रू ही ट्रांजैक्शन करना था. व्हाई सो? बिकॉज दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ अर्निंग सोर्स फॉर a state government. Whatever the transaction happens in the agriculture produce marketing committee, उसका कुछ एक market fee commission APMC मंडीज को जाता था, and then 50% of it state government को जाता था. So it is kind of a revenue source for them. But now there is no any dearth of that kind of agriculture production. So let's give some kind of a level playing field for all the stakeholders, including farmers as well. Why it is mandatory? So that has liberalized because of this act. Now farmers can open up their own kind of stuff, they can open up their own market, they can have their own stall anywhere, right? So like that, liberalization could happen. First act जो है essential commodities act, पहले कैसे था, 1955 में ये essential commodities act आया था. Okay, तो why it was there? Because तब क्या था, मैंने कहा तब प्रोडक्शन ही नहीं था उतना, तो लॉट ऑफ ब्लैक मार्केटिंग वगैरह होता था. तो उसका एक बेस्ट एग्जांपल देता हूं, दैट विल सफाइस द पर्पस ऑफ योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. कोविड आया, तो कब आया इंडिया में? फरवरी मार्च में नेशनल वाइड लॉकडाउन किया, राइट. इमीडिएटली क्या हुआ, लॉट ऑफ इशू रिगार्डिंग गेटिंग what is that, face mask and then sanitizer, right? So price shoot up and black marketing also started. We know that, we have seen that, menace. तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने क्या किया, वो जो फेस मास्क एंड जो सैनिटाइजर है, इस कमोडिटी जो इसेंशियल कमोडिटीज एक्ट था है, उसके अंडर उसको डाल दिया, उस कमोडिटी को. एज ऑफ नाउ मेनी एग्रीकल्चरल कमोडिटीज आर देयर इन दिस एक्ट. इसका मतलब क्या है कि अगर इन केस मार्केट में जो कमोडिटीज इस एक्ट के अंदर है, इफ प्राइस शूट्स अप, देन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया उस पे चेक लगाता है, प्राइस स्टेबलाइज करता है एंड प्रोडक्शन को थोड़ा सा करने के लिए टाइम देता है, एंड देन लॉट ऑफ इंसेंटिव दे गिव, एंड देन मेनी दोज सोशल एंटरप्राइजेस लाइक वुमेन, जो एसएचजीस थे, उन्होंने काफी मास्क का प्रोडक्शन किया, राइट. एंड देन अदर business houses, sanitizers, right? And then within 20-25 days the production stabilize हुआ, and then जब price normalize हुए, then I think government ने I think in June 20 में फिर से इन दो commodities को इस act के से बाहर निकाला, right? Earlier only, because ये तो कभी सोचा ही नहीं था ना कि फेस मास्क एंड देन सैनिटाइजर भी इसेंशियल कमोडिटीज बन जाएगी, राइट. तो जितने भी इसेंशियल एग्रीकल्चरल प्राइमरीली जो कमोडिटीज, दिस कम्स अंडर इसेंशियल कमोडिटीज. व्हाई सो? बिकॉज 1955 में इतना प्रोडक्शन था ही नहीं, राइट. बट नाउ व्हाट इज द सिनेरियो? सिनेरियो इज ऑल टुगेदर चेंज. नाउ हमारे पास इंडिया में अभी जितने भी फूड ग्रेन कमोडिटीज है, प्राइमरीली व्हीट एंड राइस का गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया प्रोक्योरमेंट करता है, एंड देन पल्सेस ऑयल सीड का भी करता है. तो हमारे जो सेंट्रल स्टेट वेयरहाउस गोडाउंस जो है, उसमें ऑलरेडी इंडिया का जितना पॉपुलेशन है 1.3 करोड़, राइट? तो uh, तो 2.5 times more food grain production it is there in state and central warehouse and godowns, जो कि सड़ रहा है because of we don't have proper maintenance ecosystem, infrastructure, all those. Let's not get into that. So there is also a lot of issues are there, right? So there is no any need of having that kind of check, right? And because of this act, basically a lot of business houses, corporate houses, they have not invested their fund on storage, agri infrastructure, because if something happened, then government of India will put some kind of rider and then seize wherever there is a storage, and then like they did in the case of a face mask and sanitizer, wherever there is a kind of holding of this commodity by a big corporate houses or those small business houses, and then they were doing black marketing, तो पूरा सीज किया ना उनका, राइट? और मिनिमल प्राइस पे उनसे खरीदी किया, देन प्राइस स्टैब्लिश किया. सो वो एक डर था, बिकॉज ऑफ विच एग्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं हुआ, जो अब की बार गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया उस पर ज्यादा फोकस कर रहा है, राइट? सो उसका फैक्ट फिगर भी अभी मैं बताऊंगा. जो लास्ट है एक्ट, वो है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फार्मिंग का. तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फार्मिंग कंसेप्ट वाज वेरी ओल्ड इन एग्रीकल्चर इन इंडिया बेसिकली, बट लॉट ऑफ इश्यूज वेर देयर. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फार्मिंग मीन्स मैं किसी कंपनी के साथ टाइप करूंगा और जो भी उसका रिकमेंडेड है, जो भी उसका क्वांटिटी रिकमेंडेड है, क्वालिटी रिकमेंडेड है, फार्मर्स दे यूज्ड टू ग्रो एंड देन दे यूज्ड टू गिव. वो जो भी असाइन प्राइस हुआ रहता है उतना प्राइस दे यूज्ड टू गिव. बट लॉट ऑफ चीटिंग used to happen from farmers point of view, also from those contract business houses point of view. तो उसको थोड़ा सा लीगलाइज किया है एंड देन थोड़ा सा फार्मर्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने की कोशिश यहाँ पे की है. सो दीज आर द काइंड ऑफ नीड ऑफ द आवर. Okay, I think this is fair enough to give you that kind of overview about these three acts. So which has actually now liberalized the Indian agriculture marketing system nationwide. Okay, जो पहले स्टेट पे ज्यादा, मैंने कहा ना, ज्यादा थोड़ा सा उसका होल्ड था, तो अभी इट इज नाउ सेटल डाउन दैट काइंड ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम. एंड देन इट्स रिजल्ट येट टू बी सीन कि कैसे ये जाएगा, हाउ फार इट विल इम्पैक्ट फ्रॉम द फार्मर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, ऑल दो स्टफ. सो रिजल्ट्स येट टू बी सीन, बट आई थिंक पॉजिटिवली ही रहेगा. कंजम्पशन पैटर्न चेंज देखो आप, फूड ग्रेन का 93 में कंजम्पशन पैटर्न देखो बेस्ड ऑन द परसेंटेज ऑफ फूड एक्सपेंडिचर, एंड देन अभी 15-16 का देखो, एंड देन अभी 2021 का भी देखेंगे तो डाउन ही होते आ रहा है. vis-a-vis अदर डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स का आप देखो, नॉन वेजिटेरियन प्रोडक्ट्स का देखो, फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स का देखो, इट इज ग्रोइंग लाइक कॉन्स्टेंटली, राइट? सो एंड you can also check your kind of consumption pattern as well. So ये क्या है कि out of 100 rupees whatever the expenditure pattern is there in terms of purchasing of food stuff, it is changing. और एक स्टडी किया था, इसमें भी आप चेंज इन फूड एक्सपेंडिचर पैटर्न बिटवीन 2030 to 2050 अगर देखोगे आप, तो मिल्क एंड मिल्क प्रोडक्ट, नॉन वेजिटेरियन प्रोडक्ट्स, राइट, देन द सीरियल्स, नथिंग बट राइस, व्हीट, ऑल दो स्टफ, राइट? सो दैट्स हाउ द चेंज. ओके, नाउ उसमें मैंने क्या बताया था, एक ड्राइवर डिमांड फॉर क्वालिटी एंड कन्वीनियंस, right? So I think in our first lecture itself we had a discussion that public transport, now a lot of issues are there, public transport. So this Ola, Uber, S-Ride, blah blah, so they could identify that kind of potential, and then that's how they have started their services. Similarly hotel industry में भी Swiggy, Zomato का example किया. Similarly agriculture में भी वो trend आ रहा है. There is a 1, 2, 3 startup Gold Farm. They are now providing the agricultural implements, tools, high-end machineries on rent basis, right? So what is that? It tells that consumer is now more of on quality oriented, comfort oriented, convenience oriented. So the startup guys, founder, we need to encash that kind of opportunity. We need to take a benefit of that, and for that if you increase price of that particular commodity, consumer, they are ready to pay. And as I told you, that example Bhagya Lakshmi ka, I think by this time you must have Google it, Proud of Cow, 110 rupees liter पे वो milk जा रहा है. So what is the USP of that? It is untouched milk, right? So you need to have, you see, there is one startup in Nasik, Kadaknath, it's anda only, right? So in Kadaknath is one of the very unique breed, in rather than our broiler poultry, desi, right? तो ये कड़कनाथ भी एक लोकलाइज वैरायटी है, ये सेंट्रल बेल्ट ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़ झारखंड यहाँ पे वो ज्यादा पाया जाता है, और इसका अंडे में और इसके जो चिकन है कड़कनाथ मुर्गी का, तो इट हैज लॉट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशनल बेनिफिट. सो अभी रिसेंटली सिंस नाउ लास्ट 7-8 years इस ब्रीड का ज्यादा काइंड ऑफ ये एक्सटिंक्ट हो रहा था एक्चुअली ये ब्रीड, तो उसको थोड़ा सा कंजर्व करने के लिए लॉट ऑफ एम्फेसिस एग्री साइंस यूनिवर्सिटी एलाइड सेक्टर ने दिया, बिकॉज ऑफ व्हिच नाउ द स्टार्टअप लाइक इट इज they have now branding like anything, right? You see how packaging also makes a lot of difference, you know that, right? एग्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ये ड्राइवर अभी ग्रो हो रहा है, तो जितना मैंने बताया कि 280 मिलियन टन एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन है, हॉर्टिकल्चर प्रोडक्शन माने ये फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल का प्रोडक्शन ऑलरेडी 3 मिलियन टन क्रॉस हो चुका है, राइट? बट जो स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी है वो बहुत ही मिनिमल है, 800 lakhs टन. So what it tells that there is a huge potential in creating agri infrastructure, and there is a provision, there is a separately developed warehouse regulatory development authority. 2010 में ये आया, you see 10 में ये आया, right? That means what? agri infrastructure पे उतना फोकस था ही नहीं, right? So ये अथॉरिटी क्या करती है? अगर if you at least if you start one warehouse, if you have constructed one warehouse as per capacity, as per your resources, and if you get it accredited from this agency, right? So you will be a kind of designated warehouse agency provider where farmers can deposit their agro stuff, right? And based on that, you will give a receipt, and that based on that receipt, farmers can get a loan, right? So that farmers can show that as a collateral. Generally बैंक को जाता है तो बैंक क्या पूछती है? गारंटी मांगती है, right? collateral मांगता है, तो this receipt can act as a collateral based on which farmers को loan मिलता है, and then they can meet their consumptive needs. So that is also off late basically we realize that yes, we need to give more focus on the agri infrastructure side, and then that's how a lot of startup guys, they are they have constructed, they have accredited their warehouse, and then they have kind of providing those kind of services. Last but not least, in this driver space, IT, that is information technology, ICT, right? तो अमूल का example I think कल ही मैंने share किया था. So recently, as I told you, this also in passing reference I mentioned, we have now recently launched 4th Industrial Revolution 4.0. During initial first industry revolution 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, right? So detailing you can read in Google. So during that period of time, India were not in that position to get hold of benefits out of this, but we are now well stabilized kind of country, and then nearer to become a developed country. Yeah. So Industry 4.0 revolution, it is more of on the IT revolution. तो ये जो artificial intelligence है, machine learning है, Internet of Things है, blockchain है, तो these are the high-end technology basically, right? तो कैसे इसको utilize करके business operations को हम streamline कर सकते हैं, cost of production कम कर सकते हैं, all those stuffs are there. And then from the government of India side, rural area तक जो rural areas है, ग्राम पंचायत है, वहां पे भी ये fiber connection, optical fiber के through all those infrastructure creates करने की अभी बात हो रही है, and then they are working on it actually, Minister of Rural Development. So similarly, some example of startup, right? Cropin, it's a startup. Okay, I think in 2010-11 में ये start हुआ था. What they are doing it. So as I told you, traceability. So Sahyadri Farmers Producer Company, it is very important now, globally renowned farmers producer company है, right? तो उसका case study will definitely share, will discuss. तो दे आर इनटू एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट. तो एक्सपोर्ट के लिए हमें पता है, जस्ट लेमैन्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग, कॉमन अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि वो पेस्टिसाइड रेसिड्यू इज द इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट, कमोडिटी जो फूड कमोडिटीज है उसमें, तो मिनिमम लेवल इज एक्सेप्टेड. तो वो ट्रेसेबिलिटी कैसे होगा, वो हाउ द एक्सपोर्टर, हाउ कंज्यूमर विल गेट टू नो दैट. तो इसलिए दे हैव डेवलप दैट काइंड ऑफ प्रोटोटाइप थ्रू विच बेसिकली customer by scanning QR code they would be in a position to understand which farmer, which commodity, which variety, what kind of a package of practices gone through distribution channel, all those stuff. Similarly, ये फसल है, तो farmers, as I told you ना, challenge क्या है, nature dependent है, तो कब sowing करना है, which commodity, and when to irrigate, at which stage, cropping growth stage पे irrigate, और marketing scenario कैसे रहेगा, all those some analytical forecasting, this फसल startup they are providing, very good startup. Plus farmers का जो database है, how we can maintain effectively, how जो business operations है farmers collectives के, cooperative के, FPC के, तो this kind of M कृषि जो TCS जो है, Tata Consultancy Services, उनका ये application है. Farm ERP, again it's a kind of, earlier it was startup, now it is well established company, so they have that kind of a service provision. These are the supply chain startup. NinjaCart is one amongst the all agritech startup which is leading, basically followed by Dehat, and then subsequently the Farm Taza, Waycool, AgroStar. So these people, they have their own kind of ecosystem. You can see here in the first, that NinjaCart, they are basically procuring from a number of farmers, from the farmer collectives. They have their collection center, fulfillment center, where basically they have their own database, where they have tie up with retail houses, B2B, and then B2C, right? So accordingly, their demand, supply ka, all those stuff happens here in fulfillment center, and then they have their own distribution system as well, and then giving it to the retailer. And then now, because of COVID, they have now ventured into now B2C segment as well. Similar model is for other stuff, just model is different. Someone is operating on e-commerce website like AgroStar, and someone is having a physical setup in on the ground, right? So Dehat is also sort of that. They are into more into input, and then now because of COVID, again they have also ventured into output marketing as well, right? So this is what is all about this agricultural ecosystem. Just only now last two slides. So India, if you see the India ka now farmers का मैंने बताया agriculture setup में. If you look at now India का demographic dividend, so India is the youngest nation now, and if you look at the average age currently, it is 25 years, right? So it has plus and minus, both. It has a huge potential to tap this energy of youth and then get involved in in this kind of ecosystem, creative disruption in terms of having a lot of business houses, startups, so that जो negative aspect of it है कि India will now need more, how many millions of job it needs in non-farm sector, right? So, and that is where basically government is already prepared, already they are marching towards that direction, so that we can tap these are unemployed, existing unemployment rate, and then the upcoming youth key energy we can tap productively in India itself. So there is a huge potential in that stuff as well. So let's now conclude. So what I am trying to tell you through this kind of a story, like scenario of agricultural stuff. So whenever we want to venture into in this startup and then starting any our own enterprise, so we need to be thorough with observing trends of any given sector or subsector of it, right? Like the agriculture ka, and within agriculture also we could talk about many things, right? So what are the trends? So trends in terms of the sector ka trend, subsector ka trend, commodity ka trend, consumers ka trend, market ka khud ka ek trend, right? So what is the global national scenario of that particular sector, like manage the way I have given you the global national scenario of agriculture, right? It is very much important as a founder to conceptualize our own idea basically to begin with, right? And then validation part is, of course, if you are envisioning your idea in a broader setup, then definitely, and then we need to narrow down to a particular business part of it, business opportunity of it. Then second aspect is solving problems. So in existing setup, what are the challenges? As I told you now, that the darker side of Indian agriculture, that itself is, giving a lot of opportunities. And then there where I talked about the supply chain startup like Ninja Cart, they have some of the, I could talk about, not in detail, but you're just, passing reference. So the problem identification from the target clientele point of view. So here I have just mentioned example, though we have crossed the time, but just be with for a next 5-10 minutes. So farmers का problem है कि उनको credit भी time पे नहीं मिलता. As I told you, there's a lot of issues in terms of getting access to different resources. So a lot of fintech guys, they have identified that kind of a potential, that कैसे हम easily farmers के door पे उनको loan दे, right? And that is where basically, despite having public sector bank, private sector bank, a lot of now microfinance institutions are coming up. वो क्या करते हैं, स्मॉल टिकट साइज जो होता है वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए, बिजनेस लोन के लिए 10,000 5,000 रुपए, तो वो भी वो इजीली वो दे देते हैं, ये माइक्रो फाइनेंस इंस्टीट्यूशंस जिनका टिकट साइज बहुत कम होता है, राइट? ऑपरेशनल फॉर्मेलिटीज बहुत कम होते हैं. Similarly, non-banking financial companies are also there, right? So startup guys also, fintech guys also, they have identified and they are coming out with some kind of a products. I think in case study we'll discuss some of the cases. Third aspect of it क्या है, finding gaps in existing market. तो वो gap कैसे आएगा? Maybe a gap between what is needed by customer or what is actually provided to the customer. So जो भी consumers का जो kind of demand fulfill नहीं हो रहा है, तो it could be anything basically, right? So it varies, as I told you ना, तो ऐसे ही हमें narrow down करना है, sector identify करके, sub sector identify करके, within that, right? तो ये तो कैसे करना है, how to do it, definitely in due course of time our subsequent lecture will discuss all those stuff in detail. Then demand and supply gap within any specific commodity or maybe a service provision, right? Latent demand, this is also very good concept basically. उसका एक ही example देता हूँ and then it would suffice the purpose. हम malls में जाते हैं, right? तो malls में generally क्या होता है, बड़े बड़े जो भी small size grocery shop में छोटे पॉकेट्स में मिलता है, राइट? वही थोड़ा सा बिग क्वांटिटी में वहां पे रहता है, राइट? कोई भी कमोडिटीज ले लो आप, चाहे वो ग्रोसरी स्टफ का क्यों ना हो, किचन का या डेली लॉन्ड्री सर्विसेज का, राइट? तो वॉल्यूम थोड़ा सा ज्यादा होता है वहां पे. तो इट्स वन ऑफ द वेरी बेसिक एग्जांपल ऑफ latent. Here what they are doing it, they consumer feels that okay, once some consumer feels that once in a while I am coming, I don't have that much time, so let's buy in bulk, right? So there are their consumers, those who prefers to buy in bulk. There are their consumers who feels that okay, often it's a kind of outing, often we can visit these malls and then we can, but let's purchase in a small. So you will have a diverse range of stuff. This is a very fundamental example of latent demand. Next, high end का example. So latent demand का actual meaning ये है कि जो नीड कंज्यूमर्स का नहीं है एज ऑफ नाउ, बट उसको वो टेम्प्ट करना है कि यू शुड बाय, दिस इज व्हाट यू आर नीड. एज ऑफ नाउ यू आर नॉट रियलाइजिंग इट, इट्स अनफेल्ट नीड बिकॉज यू आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दैट नीड, बट यस डाउन द लाइन यू मे रिक्वायर. सो लॉट ऑफ जो हेल्थ रिलेटेड जो प्रोडक्ट्स है, तो वो जनरली मैक्सिमम इस कैटेगरी में आते हैं. बट दूसरा मैंने एग्जांपल दिया था आई थिंक अदर डे, umbrella ka, right? So in rainy season, so within the umbrella also, Blue Teeth, all those high end services, these tech guys, they are now providing. So in rainy season also, in walking also, we can use these high end gadgets, and then you can do a lot of things. So that is where latent demand, it is creating demand for that product, which is as of now consumer is not feeling that yes, I require this kind of a product. That is what the latent demand is. So it could be anything. It's depend on your out of box thinking. एंड ये जो एस्पेक्ट है ये लास्ट स्टार्टअप के केस में नहीं आता, ये एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के केस में आता है. माने क्या है कि जहां पे मैंने डेयरी का एग्जांपल दिया था ना, जहां अनसर्व्ड एरिया है, अनटैप्ड डोमेन है, जहां पे एज ऑफ नाउ कंज्यूमर्स को लॉट ऑफ दे आर फेसिंग प्रॉब्लम इन टर्म्स ऑफ गेटिंग दिस ग्रोसरी स्टफ, मिल्क एंड मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स. तो वहां पे चलो एक आउटलेट ओपन कर लेते हैं, देन वी कैन टैप दैट काइंड ऑफ अनसर्व्ड डोमेन. सो इट्स a typical replication of any ongoing stuff and then opening outlet in other areas. But the other jo about three jo broader aspects hai, that is the broader options on which we can, through which basically one can think through and one can identify that kind of opportunity. So with this, I think I'll stop here today. Already I crossed the time, 10 minutes, but yes, if you have any concern, anything related to this broader as our entrepreneurial opportunity identification, if you have any concern on that topic, you are most welcome. And further, if you want to also understand, wants to know further in detail about even agriculture sector as well, I would be happy, and then we can connect offline for that if you want to know in detail about it. So that's all from my side. So over to you.
Right now we are not having any doubt. We'll go through the topic. If we have, we'll let you know.
Okay, Ankur, thank you very much. So yes, so now tomorrow then I'll share the cases, and then based on which now then further we'll be discussing through cases, right? So thank you very much. So see you on Tuesday.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.